What is the life update? Where are you in your career right now?
Who knows? I took a lot of time off this summer.
Yeah.
And so really right now I'm just trying to get back into shape. I feel very out of shape, which is okay. And I feel like I really haven't raced since I think like May. I went to Mare Nostrum and I raced a little bit after, but just getting back into racing too. You know, I called Andrew after my races and I'm like, I just feel like I'm swimming and not racing. So, you know, just getting back into it. I'm coaching as well still. So nothing really has changed for me over the last couple years and I'm really enjoying it. So I'm happy to not have a big change.
Nothing like a long course meet to help you get back into shape too.
The good thing is I love long course. I hit underwater kicks, so it's not as bad for me to transition to long course as I'm sure it is for some other people. The more I can come up and swim, the better.
What kind of yardage are you doing now?
It varies. We do a lot of different kind of training throughout the year. I guess a little while ago, before I took my break, we were really cranking it up a lot, and I wasn't really responding well to it. I was getting really tired, which is then why we took the long break. So right now I'm just swimming like hour and a half to 2 hours a day and then lifting 3 times a week. So we don't really pay attention to yardage because sometimes it's more about the quality and the effort than trying to get in yards. So
it's like you're in a unique situation as a pro where you have so much influence over the type of work that you do, and not being part of a huge training group and tailoring that, but also being later in your career and having taken a lot of time off and then just taking this kind of like reapproach to it. So what do you feel like you're constantly learning about yourself and what your body needs?
Absolutely. I mean, it was a huge change when I started swimming again. I had grown up going swimming at West Shore YMCA where, we were doing a lot of yards. I was a distance swimmer. My coach wanted me to be a distance swimmer in the worst way, and I was.
All coaches wanted you to be a distance swimmer.
And then I went to Texas and I was a distance swimmer. I always swam the mile, 500, 400 IM. So I was in the distance group doing 4 doubles a week, and then I take 6 years off and I come back and we're really starting from scratch. So I can't do the same things, right? I got to build back up, and we did a lot of training that I'd never done in my life before. And within 5 short months, I was going best times in races, and so it was really cool to just try. Like, I love trying different things, and I think recently I've kind of have been overthinking things and probably giving my 2 cents a little more than I should. I really like to just give it to the coach and be like, I'll do whatever you want. I'll get feedback, but I want to just show up and do what you're asking me to do to the best of my ability. So, but it's been a lot of fun just doing different stuff. I don't miss doing 4 doubles a week. I don't miss doing those things. So it's been refreshing, and I mean, for the most part, it's been working. So
as you're coaching, are there things that you give your athletes that you go, I would never do this myself?
I really just coach the younger kids. I coach like the 10 and unders, where I'm just teaching them how to get from one end to the other. I help with the senior group, and there are times where Andrew gives them sets and I'm just like, I'm really glad I'm coaching and not in the water during this one. So do
you kind of tap out of some? Do you still train with them at all?
I do, not as much right now, just kind of getting back into it. I kind of like being able to do workouts that are just butterfly, tailored towards butterfly or freestyle, and not do all the IM stuff that they might be doing sometimes. But there was a stretch of time where I was training with them all the time, and it's great because I went from swimming completely by myself, nobody beside me, to having 15-year-old kids beating me and humbling me, and it's great. So it's a give and a take. I think sometimes the senior group does more than I need, or is doing things that I don't really need to do. But on the flip side, when I'm swimming by myself, it's not the same as when you're racing somebody in practice. So
what's the funniest thing that one of your kids has said to you in workout?
In workout? I don't know. I don't really talk during workouts. Like, I'm pretty sure they probably think I'm miserable the whole time I'm swimming, practicing. That's just me. I zone out and I get in the zone, and I'm just like, I'm here to do a job, but I'm enjoying it, but like it doesn't look like I'm enjoying it. So.
What about one of your kids that you're coaching?
The younger ones?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, that's a really hard question. I'm coaching some crazy kids that have a lot of energy. They're all over the place. You're putting me on the spot. That's like one of the things where you're like, I know, there's funny things, but to be put on the spot, I don't know. What
do you feel like you've learned from them?
They're the reason I started swimming again. Yeah. So we moved down to Columbus, Georgia about 6-7 years ago. And I took over the 10 and unders, and I was like, oh my gosh, this is why I loved swimming in the first place. You know, I started swimming when I was 4. It's you know, you show up for practice and you're like telling them to stay out of the water. They want to get in, and then after practice is over, you have to like yank them out of the pool. They just love it. And I was like, this used to be me, you know. And so they really got me to a point of loving the sport again. And so they taught me, really, they taught me how to love the sport. So I'm so grateful for them, even on the days that they really test my patience.
What age does that change, do you think, where it switches from just being so pumped to get in the pool to, I don't want to get in the pool, it's so cold?
Yeah, it's so hard because I think it's different for different people. I was one of those crazy kids. I was just talking to someone the other day. I'm like, I was the crazy kid who loved swim practice when I was in high school. Like, it didn't really change for me until I got to college. I mean, there were, you know, obviously the days throughout my high school career where I didn't want to go to practice or didn't want to swim, but I was the crazy kid who loved swimming for far too long. And I still do at the age of 32. But yeah, I think it's like the teenage years, because then, you know, you just don't want to get wet. You don't want to get cold. You have friends. You have so many other things you could be doing than staring at a black line for 2 hours.
Oh, we got to make swimming cool again at that age.
I know, right? It's hard to, though.
Yeah, really. So what'd you think about this morning?
I actually was really happy with it. I had to change my mindset a lot coming into this meet. You know, I want to be where I know I can be, and I want to be at that elite level. I want to be racing in the A final. But realistically, I'm just not there training wise right now. I took a lot of time off. I'm not fit. I'm not in shape. I can't do the same things in the water or in the weight room that I was able to do a couple months ago. So to be as close as I was to a best time, going 101, my best time 59, I'm pretty happy with that. And I think, you know, hopefully tonight will be a little bit better, just learning how to get back into racing this weekend. So I had to, you know, take a step back and coach myself through it. And what would I tell, you know, one of my athletes that's going through the same thing that I am right now. So
when you're in that mode, swimming 100 and you're 2 seconds off, or like within that range of your best, a lot of times, maybe fitness is an issue, but you also feel differently in the water. You're sitting a little bit lower in the water. When you do that race, like say when you come to the race tonight, what can you learn from that you can apply for when you're fully rested and sharp?
Yeah, I learned something from every single time I race, and I think I take for granted racing and how important racing is, because going from having a couple months of not racing, I'm like, man, I miss the opportunity to be able to learn from each of those races, because I'm stepping up and I feel like I'm relearning everything. Even though I've swam it 1,000 times, you know, it's still new every single time you race it. So I learned a lot. I think, you know, towards the end I was forcing it a lot. So just trying to get in there and swim a race that I know how to do and not overthink, you know, where I'm at right now training wise, and not tell myself over and over again I'm out of shape, because I can still be fast whenever I'm, you know, not fully prepared.
What do you think the key is to finishing a 100 fly well?
It's staying relaxed, and I think that's probably like it's so hard to do, you know. And there are so many times I'm in the middle of a hard practice and Andrew's like, just stay relaxed, and I'm like, I can't get my arms out of the water. I don't know how to be relaxed right now. But that's the thing, the more you force butterfly, the worse it gets and the harder it gets. So if you can just try to stay relaxed. I like to think about pressing the chest down, because that just helps me get into the flow of butterfly. But just the more relaxed, the better.
Have you ever tried to explain that to just a complete amateur who has no idea of swimming, and trying to explain relaxing and swimming butterfly seems like such an oxymoron?
Yeah, because like, how do you get your arms out of the water? Like, this part is still hard.
People just don't understand that. Isn't that so hard? How do you do it? Yeah. Awesome. We'll go fast tonight. I look forward to seeing you swim.
Thank you.
Awesome.
I appreciate this.
Thank you. Yeah, appreciate it.